Welcome back, everybody, to Bad Beats on this beautiful Friday, January 30th, coming at you from River Radio Network here in Poplar Bluff. I'm Rob Brown alongside Colton Vansel. Bad Beats is brought to you by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. Contact Keith Parker for all your insurance needs. And we've got a new sponsor this week, Pro Edge Properties. Contact Kenny Johnson for your rental and real estate needs as well. And we appreciate both those individuals. Well, we made it back for week 2. We didn't get canceled after the first week. I had to do some hustling to even get here today. I went to a work conference, and I was making a mad dash back from Lake of the Ozarks to get here on time this
Roads
afternoon.
wasn't so great coming back, was it?
It wasn't too bad. It's just a haul. It's just a long run. No good way to get there. You got just terrible.
Listening to a good podcast?
I did listen to McAfee on the way up, but I didn't listen to anything. I was working on this podcast on the way back. What do you got for us today?
Man, before we get started today, me and Rob, we want to offer our condolences to the Cornell, Oberkramer, and Blue families from Brosley. They've had a tough week with the loss of Jim, and you guys know you're in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely. A lot of great people there. Got a lot of feedback from our debut episode last week. A lot of positive, a lot of negative. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's an expert. We are not experts. That's one thing. We're just we're learning on the go. So in this episode, we're going to give you a quick tutorial on some of the betting lingo, the numbers that we've been referring to. We're going to review our picks from last week. We're going to dive into some college basketball previews for tonight and tomorrow. Talk about last week's AFC, NFC Championships, and just discuss some early Super Bowl bets, numbers, take a look at the Super Bowl. But before we talk about the positives and negatives from last week's show, Colton, give us some things that stood out to you from the feedback that you received from people.
Man, I felt pretty well about how things went, considering me and you are both pretty green at this still. I mean, there's no doubt there's room for improvement on anything and everything, especially this show. But, man, all the people that reached out via phone call and text and Facebook shares and the River Radio YouTube views, and it was pretty flattering. I didn't know that many people liked us.
They probably don't. They're just waiting for us to fail. On the positive side, we're creeping up on 600 views our first episode. That's about 500 more than I anticipated. I had multiple people reach out about sponsorship ideas. The folks here at River Radio had a meeting to discuss their podcast directions, their process, and distribution, so we appreciate them. And then we just a lot of friends reached out, just discussing ideas, thoughts, things they'd like to see, things they appreciated. So we're going to do our best no matter what we do. I'm sure we won't make everyone happy, but that's okay. What did Nick Saban say about selling ice cream? If you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream?
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. On the negative side, our NBA picks last week were not very good. So we will discuss those. Probably the number one thing we got feedback from last week's show was several people didn't understand some of the numbers, odds, money, the lingo, and some of the things we were tossing around. So the first thing we're going to do today is Colton's going to give you a brief tutorial on betting numbers, odds, spreads, money lines, over-unders, parlays. He's not going to get too deep, but if you're new, hopefully Colton can give you some info here to help.
Yeah, like Rob said, we dove into this a little bit last week, but not a ton. And hopefully after this little brief tutorial, you kind of have a little better understanding what we got going on here. So we'll start out with the odds. You know, the odds on a game are minus 110, for example. I'm going to do these with increments of hundreds. Say the odds minus 110, for example. You're betting $110 to win 100. And you're probably asking, why am I having to wager more than I'm going to be able to win? Well, that extra money is known as the VIG or the juice, and that's how sportsbooks make their money. And then essentially you're paying a little extra to bet on that favorite. And so say you got an odd or line that is a plus number. If it's 100, it's even money, and anything over, you would bet, say, just for easy math, 200. A plus 200 bet on an underdog, you'd bet 100 to win 200. Well, and like I said, betting on an underdog, a little more risky bet, but a bigger payout. Now we're going to dive into some more type of the more common bets, and start out with the easiest one, a money line bet. On a money line, you pick a winner or loser. It's pretty simple. You're just betting on the team to win or lose. The bigger the fave or bigger the underdog, the bigger the line is on it. And now we're going to dive into some spreads here. Point spread is a number is set by the sports book to even the playing field in a game. And I'll give you an example of that. Say you have the Memphis Grizzlies minus 6.5 playing the Charlotte Hornets. The Grizzlies would have to win by 7 to cover that line, that spread. Or vice versa, if you had the plus points, the Hornets,
If you took the underdog.
Yeah, if you had the underdog and you had the plus 6.5, the Hornets could lose by 6 and you still win your bet because of that half point on there. And not always on a spread is there a half point added, but usually there is, so there's a winner and a loser, but not always. But in the instance that it's not, it's just a round number, and you don't have that half point and it lands on that number, it's a push or a tie. Nobody wins.
You would get your money back.
And then you get your money back, correct. Over-unders, these are pretty simple to understand too. What you're betting on is the total combined final score to be either over a set number or under it of the two teams. For example, if the over-under was set at 48.5 and the final score was 52, 28, 24, which equals 52, and you had the over, you would win. Or as opposed to if you had a final score 21-20 with the total at 41, you would, the under would win. So that's pretty simple. Set a set number, pick higher or lower pretty well. Now, everyone's favorite parlays. A parlay is where you combine 2 or more wagers in a single bet, and they all must hit. The more legs you put in a parlay, the more games, the more prop bets, the bigger the payout. Parlays are fun, but they are hard to hit. Like, I'll give you an example of a parlay. If you put $100 on the Patriots money line plus 190 and the under at 45.5 in the Super Bowl, $100 would pay you $398. So, and then I was just mentioning prop bets. Everybody likes these too, and they're hard. What a prop bet is, you're betting on a certain player. I'll give you an example. Like a Drake May to pass for over 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Over 2, that's a prop bet. Or Cooper Kupp to have X amount of catches, over 4. Or, and there's team prop bets too. You can bet on them to have a total team score of, 17 or something. And like I said, I've done these in increments of hundreds, and that's known as a betting unit. You don't have to use your betting unit as 100. That's just I just done that as an easy number to go off of.
Especially if you're starting out.
Right.
Just keep it low. Try to get you a couple wins. Try to understand what you're doing.
Exactly.
$5, $10. As long as you're being smart about it and being responsible, whatever amount that you can comfortably afford,
right,
that's the unit you should be using.
Don't ever bet money you're not 100% okay with losing.
Exactly. Before we dive in, a lot kind of non-related to football or non-related to betting, but a lot of NFL coaching changes.
Bunch.
Which ones you like, which ones you don't like?
I'm still riddled how nobody wants that Raiders job. You can't give it
or
away.
Arizona's still
nobody
open too.
wants those. Nobody.
You're going to get Mendoza. You're going to get the number 1 pick with the Raiders.
Yeah.
You could have a chance to have your franchise quarterback there in place, but no guarantees there.
I like Harbaugh to New York. I like that.
The Giants, that's good. I liked. I'm glad Kevin Stefanski got out of Cleveland, went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think that was a good move for him. I think he's a good coach. Cleveland's just a franchise and just been in total disarray for so long. Another one that puzzled me was Sean McDermott at Buffalo.
Yeah. Playoffs 9 straight years, and gets fired because Josh Allen turned the ball over 4 times.
Right, and then you're going to
tough.
hire your offensive coordinator that's already in place that was there for all that. So
it didn't make much sense.
No, I don't understand that either. And then, of course, another one, probably just a comfort hiring, is the Steelers taking Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
I hate to see Tomlin step down. He had a great run there. I like Mike Tomlin a ton. But Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh just feels like, hey, we're trying to take the most comfortable.
Think Aaron Rodgers comes back?
I think he will, since it's McCarthy. They got a relationship there.
I thought that ended sour in Green Bay.
He's up and down.
What about Stafford? Do you think he comes back?
That was one of the things I was going to ask you later when we was discussing the NFC Championship from last week. I was kind of curious if he's coming back. He had some back problems. I hope he does. He had a great season. I would like to see him back.
38 years old, and MVP running, so I think he'll come back. I look for him to return.
And then
try one more.
Probably the biggest news in football this week, to me anyway, the most absurd story out there was Bill Belichick is not a first ballot.
Yes, that's ridiculous. 8 Super Bowls, 6 as a head coach.
Second all-time win.
Yes, that's ridiculous.
I'd say he's probably getting paid back for some of his Spygate and Deflategate controversies. All right, let's dive into our picks from last week. I'll let you go first, Colton.
Sure. I have 2 and 3 on my football picks. I had the Patriots minus 4.5. They only won by 3, 13-10. I had Seattle minus 2.5. They covered, winning 31-27. They covered my spread. And I had the under in that Broncos game, Broncos-Patriots at 42.5. That game there, it was pretty slow moving. My parlay, my player prop parlay, it did not even come close. Booty, I had him for 4+ catches. He had 1 reception for 6 yards. He was targeted 6 times, though. Just couldn't catch the ball, which...
He did have a couple drops.
Yeah, and I had a Diggs anytime touchdown, and he didn't get close to the end zone, which nobody did in that game. But
that's true.
5 receptions for 17 on 6 targets, and I did have Sam Darnold plus 2 passing touchdowns. He had 3, so. And then these terrible NBA picks had the Magic. We made these Thursday. Had the Magic minus 5.5, and I thought, coming off 3 days rest, they were going to run Charlotte out of the gym. They just absolutely destroyed 124-97. It was pathetic, man. We watched that. It was bad.
The best text the next day was from your brother. you and Tony that night, hey, jump on that Magic bet. He texted the next morning, thanks for the pick, fellas. Appreciate it. I loved it.
And I had my player prop parlay from the NBA. I had Durant plus 25 points. He had 36. Victor Wembanyama, 10+ boards. He had 14. And Jamal Murray plus 25. He had 24.
Missed that by 1 point.
Yeah, did not score in the first quarter.
Right.
Had 4 or 5 in the second quarter, and then goes crazy in the second half, but can't hit me 1 more point.
Yeah,
tough.
Yeah, I get it. And that's the way it goes sometimes. My NFL picks, I was super excited about my NFL picks. I was 3 for 3 straight up. I had picked the Seahawks money line. They won 31-27. I picked the Broncos plus 4.5. They lost by 3, so those points gave me the victory there. Also had the under 42.5 on the Broncos Patriots. I had plenty to spare there in that cold, grinding game. And then I hit my parlay. I took the Broncos team total under 17.5. I took Kyren Williams, running back for the Rams, anytime touchdown. I believe he had a receiving touchdown. Might have been the first touchdown the Rams had, a receiving touchdown. And then I had Matthew Stafford over 34.5 passing attempts and hit that. So that was a nice parlay and 3 straight-up picks for me. So it was a profitable NFL week. My NBA picks, my player props were good. I had Melo Ball scoring over 16.5, which he did. And I had James Harden under 27.5, he did. And then I missed the T-Wolves covering against the Bulls. Wasn't even close. Bulls beat them. So missed my team, but hit my 2 player props on the NBA. So we're going to try to be a little more consistent this week. Let's dive into last week's AFC, NFC championships. Start off with the NFC, Colton.
Man, that was another great game. Seahawks 31, Rams 27. Said another great game between them 2 teams. And third one of the season. I mean, the Rams played them tough all night, but Seattle kept their foot on the throttle after that Xavier Smith muffed punt to start the third quarter. Seattle never looked back. And another crucial turnover that stood out to me in that game was when McVay call was to go for it on fourth and 4. Yeah, fourth and 4 instead of taking the field goal and going down 1.
Yep.
And then they turned it over. There was about 5 minutes left in the quarter, and they did not get the ball back until there was 25 seconds left. And like I said, man, both Sam Darnold and Stafford, they were both excellent in this game. Darnold was 25 of 36 for 346 yards with 3 touchdowns, hitting JSN, Cooper Kupp, and Jake Bobo. Jackson Smith-Njigba, he was Seattle's leading receiver. He had 10 receptions for 153 yards. And Kenneth Walker, he mixed in a touchdown there as well, rushing. He had a pretty big load because they were without Zach
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet this week. Or actually the rest of the season with that ACL. But he had a big load. But I think he had 66 rushing yards, on 19 carries.
I didn't talk about it last week as far as taking it to pick, but I took the Kenneth Walker first touchdown of the game and hit that, so that was a great.
And on the LA side of the ball, Stafford, he was 22 of 35 for 374 yards as well. He hit Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and Kyren Williams for a touchdown. And Nacua, he led all LA receivers, 9 catches for 165 yards. Man, that was pretty tough when he didn't get out of bounds there, wasn't it?
Yeah. and our notes are pretty similar. I do like watching football games when both your star quarterbacks are putting up numbers, putting up yards, and moving the ball. It makes it for a great game. And I thought Darnold and Stafford were both excellent. And again, that muff putt, that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, that changed
gave
it, man.
Seahawks a little bit of a cushion, got them an easy score. And again, McVay, I kind of wish you'd have kicked that field goal. Went down 1, then you only need a field goal to win it there. If you,
right.
I think he had enough time to get the ball back, get a stop, and get another field goal. But who knows? I did enjoy that game. The AFC game, Patriots Broncos, that turned into just a sloppy, snowy mess.
10-7 ball game there. And, whenever Denver showed some life there in the first quarter, I mean,
jumped right out.
Yeah, come out 7-0. Stidham threw that 54-yard pass downfield, and then ends up being a 7-yard touchdown pass for Cortland Sutton. But then after that, I mean, the snow moved in at halftime, and I mean, they were just and could not move the football offensively.
And you couldn't kick a field goal.
No,
I mean, the wind was just there were some of the field goals that were attempted. The ball was just moving
Lutz and Borgalis
15, 20
both
yards
missed
right and left.
2 field goals apiece.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was an ugly game, kind of grinded out. But I would like to have seen if Nix had been in. A different result.
Absolutely.
And I would say those 2 young quarterbacks they're going to have that opportunity again later in their career.
Run across each other again.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick moment here, a 30-second break here for some ads.
Talk with Keith Parker, your local insurance agent at Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. Whether it's auto, home, life, or business coverage, he's here to help you achieve your goals. Trust Keith Parker and the long-standing reputation of Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance for all your protection needs.
I'm Kenny Johnson with ProEdge Properties, a local real estate investment company specializing in commercial and residential rentals. We buy properties in all conditions, the good, the bad, the ugly. Call us today if you're looking to sell or find a clean, affordable place to rent. 573-718-7810.
All right, and we're back. Super Bowl, not this week. This Sunday is going to be a slow day in sports. I won't know what to do with myself. Next Sunday, you got the Super Bowl. Early numbers. The line is open. Seattle favored 4.5. Over/under set at 45.5. Your thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, the line's at 4.5. It moved to 5 last night for a little bit. It jumped up to 5. Now it's back down to 4.5. I was looking this morning. Over 70% of the public money is on the Seahawks. I look for it to get down to around 3.5 by next Sunday.
Some of that smart money.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Again, Super Bowl's in Levi Stadium, home of the 49ers there in Santa Clara, California. One thing I always like to look at the week before the Super Bowl is all the crazy Super Bowl prop bets that you can get prior to. A couple of my favorites are the national anthem on the over-under in length. This year, a gentleman by the name of Charlie Puth is singing the national anthem. The over-under for the anthem is 2 minutes. I know that I read a couple articles where people were researching his. He did a couple other anthems on YouTube, and they were under 2 minutes, so they were leaning to the under, unless being on the big stage of the Super Bowl, if he was going to have some dramatic pauses and strung out high notes. So we'll see about that. But I always like to just do a little $5 on that. Another one of my favorite too is the coin flip, heads or tails. Both heads or tails are minus 110. Both of them. Tails actually holds a slight lead at the Super Bowl over the years. So if you're leaning anywhere, lean tails. And then my all-time favorite is which color of Gatorade will the winning coach have dumped on him following the game? Orange Gatorade's the heavy favorite at plus 220, followed closely by yellow and blue at 260. And if you really want to gamble on a long shot, you can get no Gatorade. They don't give the bath at plus 5,000. So that's pretty good numbers there. Got any favorites on any of those?
I got no Gatorade.
Gonna go with the none?
Yeah.
The game numbers, while historically dominant, favorites have won 64% of the previous Super Bowls. But a recent trend has the Super Bowl favorites 3-7 straight up and against the spread. Underdogs covering spread in 16 of the last 23 Super Bowls, and underdog 5-0 the last 5 years against the spread. So the underdogs have had their day here the last 5 years or so. My early thoughts, I kind of like taking the Patriots and the points.
Yeah.
But I haven't made any decisions yet. I think Drake May had to face 3 of the toughest defenses to get there, facing Houston, Chargers, Broncos. His numbers have not been great, but a lot of quarterbacks are not when they're
Their
facing
defense
those
has
threes.
been pretty stellar, though. I was reading this morning, they've only given up 29 points all playoffs.
Yep.
Something like that.
Then you got some as far as coaching, you got some Super Bowl rookies, and Vrabel does have experience as a player, winning 3 Super Bowls as a player.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of edge you want to give there. Some of the concerns I have, Seattle D has not allowed a 100-yard rusher in the last 27 games.
Wow.
Sam Darnold has led the NFL in turnovers this year, 14 interceptions, six fumbles lost, so those 20 turnovers lead the league. Drake May's had some turnover issues in the playoffs as well. So either quarterback to be victorious next Sunday, you're going to have to take care of the ball. I'm also a little concerned about the youth of the Patriots roster. You got 11 2025 draft picks on that roster, seeing playing time. That's a big stage for a lot of young men. Again, we'll dive back into our picks and give our bets for the Super Bowl next week. College basketball.
Got a couple games
tonight,
here.
Got some tomorrow.
Yeah,
I
got a couple here tomorrow I like, and there's a couple on Sunday I really like. Little ACC matchup here. Number 4 Duke taking on Virginia Tech. They're going to Virginia Tech, and Duke is the favorite at 10.5, with the over/under at 46.5. And Duke's one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They've won 9 of 10 and 19 of 20. I mean, and they're coming off a huge blowout win at home against Louisville. And
I watched that. Well, they put it on. Last Saturday, I wasn't feeling good, and all I did was watch. I laid around and watched college basketball all day. A lot of great games.
So they're outscoring their opponents by almost 14 points a game. But they are traveling Virginia Tech, and they started the season out hot. They were 12-2, but they've went 4-4 over their last 8. And they're coming off a big win against Georgia Tech. And they play great at home, too. They're 12-1 at home.
Yeah.
And they're averaging 81 points per, outscoring their opponents at home by 7. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game here, but I really like the over. But I'm also leaning towards taking Virginia Tech in the plus 10.5 too. I think I'm like that too because, like I said, they're hard to beat at home, and that's a rivalry game. And I mean, it gets loud in there. And that place gets to rocking, and so I think I like that 10.5 too. Next game I got a little SEC matchup. Kentucky traveling number 15 Arkansas. Arkansas is the favorite, minus 6.5, over/under at 161.5. Arkansas is playing well right now. Their winners 7 of their last 10. Behind,
Acuff, man, that guy is so
their
good.
leading scorer, Darius Acuff, man, he had a big game the other night. Had 21. They beat Oklahoma. Yeah, he's
I watched
played
him play
well.
LSU too last Saturday. That was a good game.
You know, they're 12-0 at home, and they play well at home. Kentucky's struggling on the road this year. They're 2-3, and they're averaging just shy of 77 points per contest on the road. And Arkansas's putting up almost 90 per game here their last 10. So I like Arkansas at home covering the 6.5.
I like that
against
as well.
Kentucky.
Very good.
There wasn't no lines out for these two games on Sunday, but I figured they'll both be good watches. Number 23 at number 19 Florida and number 9 Illinois at Nebraska. I think those will both be great, stellar games.
One of the better games I watched last week was that Nebraska at Michigan game. Just a great game. It's, the Hoiberg boys, Fred's the mayor back in Nebraska. It's fun to watch him. But they're a pesky bunch. Play basketball the right way. I got one college basketball game tonight that I really like. A Big Ten battle between number 3 Michigan, who's 19-1, at number 7 Michigan State, 19-2. The line, Michigan's favored 1.5. The over/under is 147.5 points. Michigan State is 4-0 in their last 4 meetings with Michigan. I think Michigan is the more talented team, but Michigan State has the size and some physicality. I think they can slow them up, provide a good matchup. I'm going to take Michigan State money line at home.
I like that. I mean, Tom Izzo going to have him boys fired up play.
Oh, yeah. And then tomorrow, I think one of the better games in the Big 12 is number 13 BYU at number 14 Kansas. Probably two of the highly touted best players in the nation, and A.J. DeBonce and Darren Peterson for Kansas. DeBonce plays for BYU. If you've not seen either one of those individuals play, they're a good watch. DeBonce averages 23 points per game, where Darren Peterson averages 21. Peterson didn't play last Saturday against Kansas State. He had a high ankle sprain, but Coach Self indicated that he was healthy and he would be back this week, and fully expected him to play and make an impact. Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, one of the toughest places to play. I expect a very close game. I expect a lot of points. I'm going to take BYU plus 4.5, and I'm also going to I'm not sure yet, but I'm leaning to take the over. I think this could be a high-scoring affair.
A little run and jump
80,
game.
77 kind of line. And then my final game that I like, I like Cincinnati and Houston at number 10. Houston, another Big 12 matchup. Houston's favored by 13.5. Over under 132.5. You've not watched Houston play. Probably one of the better defensive teams in the nation. They make you work for every single point. Houston's 18-2, while Cincinnati comes in struggling a little bit. They've had a rough stretch in their schedule. Had to play Arizona State. They're a pedestrian 11-10 record. I think Cincinnati's very capable. I think they can score enough points to keep it close. I'm going to take the large points, 13.5 with Cincinnati, and I'm going to pass on the over-under. Additional picks for the week. With the PGA Tour cranking up, I always like to pick a winner each week. You can get some good odds for a PGA winner if you just pick them straight up. You can pick top 5, somebody to finish in the top 5, somebody to finish in the top 10, top 20, so forth. Or you can pick a threesome group. If they're playing in groups of 3, you're just betting on who's going to win that group, not necessarily who's going to win the tournament. But if you wanted to bet that on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you could bet just that group of 3. I took, again, this week is the Farmers Insurance Open in the PGA Tour. It's there at Torrey Pines in San Diego, California. Your defending champion is Harris English. I made my bet on Wednesday. I took Jason Day. I took him at plus 3,100. Put $10 on that to win 310. Dave finished second last week at the American Express tournament. He has a great history at Torrey Pines. He won this event in 2018, and he's got 3 top 7 finishes in the last 6 years. I checked the leaderboard right before we came in here to record this, and Day was tied at 14, tied 14th at -5, 5 shots behind Justin Rose. So he'll make the cut, and we'll see where that goes for the weekend. And even though that tournament did start on Thursday, you can still make your bets even after the cut. You can make it today, Saturday, Sunday. If you like golf, you don't like betting on golf, don't.
Yeah, like Rob said, it's always fun to sprinkle a little money on these overall winners on this PGA Tour. I took Cameron Young this week at plus 2,500. It's his first tournament of 2026, but had an impressive and strong 2025. He's real strong in the Ryder Cup.
He was.
You know, 3-1.
He did a great job in the Ryder Cup.
Very good. He won the Wyndham Championship back in August, and since then he's had 6 straight top 10 finishes. And he got his putter figured out, and over the last 50 rounds, he is the best putter in the field. So, and right before we come in here to record this, he was back to 2 under. He shot par yesterday. He was at 2 under right before we come in here earlier.
Nice.
So, and I got another little 3-ball bet like Rob was talking about. It's a group of 3, and you can bet on who wins that group for the day. And I took Lowitt Oberg again today. He's plus 145. He's paired with Max Homa and Brooks Koepka, which yesterday he absolutely fell apart.
Yeah. He
Shot 7 over.
Homa hasn't played well either in about a year. He's had all kinds of issues. Koepka's, this is his first tournament back from Live,
Right.
so that's an interesting group of 3 to bet on there.
Oberg, he was one of the favorites to win this thing. He had to withdraw from it last year after leading in the first round. Got the flu, and then they had to move the next tournament to Torrey Pines because of the California wildfires, and he won it. So he knows how to win there.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting threesome.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
got this one wrapped up in the books.
All right, Arby. Yeah, episode 2 in the books. Everyone, be sure and hit that like and share button, get those views up, and be on the lookout for the Bad Beats Facebook page coming soon.
We'll have that for you next week. We'll talk a little bit about that. Again, I want to thank Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Agency here in Poplar Bluff, and thank Pro Edge Properties. Also want to thank Tim Hicks here at River Radio, who kind of makes us sound and look
He's making
a little
it
better
happen.
than what we are, I promise you. So we appreciate Tim's efforts. We'll see you next week. We'll dive into our Super Bowl bets and review this week's predictions. For Colton Vansel, I'm Rob Brown. This is Bad Beats.